you may try exercising drawing the logic tree a lot of times, and then your capabilities will improve. So don't get disappointed. Writing a powerful logic tree is challenging, but I promise you, you can improve your writing logic tree skill through the multiple exercises. Now let's move on to the next level of disaggregating the issues into the small issues. If we look at the first option of increasing the price, those solutions might be divided into the two other small solutions. One is by simply increasing the price without adding new product features. Another way of increasing the price is with adding new product features. Those two solutions are different, so it's mutually exclusive. And also, if you look at those two options, that pretty much covers the entire options about increasing the price. So instead of saying simply increasing the price options, we can explore two different options of increasing the price without adding new product features or with adding new product features. With the same logic, the option number 2, by decreasing the cost, can be divided into two different sub-solutions or the deeper solutions. One is decreasing the fixed cost or by decreasing the variable cost. So in order to improve operating margin of product X, we will think about decreasing the cost, decreasing the unit, and in looking at the possible ways of decreasing the cost, we will have a look at 1, the fixed cost areas, 2, the variable cost areas. What is a fixed cost? Fixed cost means regardless of the sales volume, regardless of the production volumes, the cost is fixed. So regardless of whether you produce a lot of volumes or whether you produce small, the amount of the expenditure is fixed, the same. Whereas the variable cost means, in a lot of ways, if we increase the production of your products, the unit cost varies. So let me show one example of the fixed cost. I don't know whether you enjoy watching the movies at the theater. Okay? Most of the expenditures from the theater operator's point of view is constructing a big space of the theater, right? And then they have to have a big screen in each movie theater sections, and they have to construct a lot of chairs for the customers, and they have to have big facilities, right? And those the cost in building those infrastructure, those buildings are fixed. So whether there are only one customer in the theater or 100 customers, the cost of the building the entire theater is fixed. What are the variable costs from the theater operator's point of view? Okay. If the customer is coming and you have to clean the seat of each customers watching the movies at the theater. Once there are a lot of customers in the theater, you have to spend more money cleaning those each chairs. So those are the variable costs. The amount of the cost varies depending on the number of the productions or number of the customers. But fixed cost is once the cost is spent, it's fixed regardless of number of the production units, things like that. The industry where the portion of the fixed cost is high is typically heavy industry areas, or the hotels, or theaters, or the airplane, the companies. Because of the COVID crisis, the pandemics, there is no overseas trip anymore, right? So a lot of the airline companies are losing the monies. So for example, if there is a customer, if the airline is operating from Seoul to Ulaanbaatar, and if it is full, maybe 200 customers are flying using the same aircraft. And then the oil and gas price and the salary of the pilot and salary of the air attendants are fixed costs. Whether there is only one customer flying using the big aircraft, or whether there is 200 customers in the same flight, the fuel price, the salary of the pilot, and salary of the airline attendant is fixed. Okay? But what are the variable costs? Maybe the lunchbox. If there is only one customer, one lunchbox is consumed. If there are 200 customers, 200 lunchboxes are consumed. So the cost of the lunchbox is the variable cost. The fuel cost and the salaries are the fixed cost. So in order to improve operating margin of product X, we have to look at those quite different cost categories, fixed cost and variable cost. And let's have a look at the option number 3, increasing the sales volume. One of the increasing the sales volume is expanding the entire market size. If we increase the market size from 1 trillion to 3 trillion, even though the existing players' market share is the same, but we can enjoy, each of the players may enjoy the increased volume of the market size. But in case the market size is not increasing and is maturing, it's actually declining, and one of the ways of increasing the sales volume is increasing our market share and taking out from the market share from the competitors. So in this case, the size of the entire market is identical, but we may try to increase our market share from 20% to 50%. By doing that, we can increase the sales volume, and in the end, we will improve the operating margin of the product X. Okay. So, in order to improve the operating margin of product X, in the first level, at the first level, we divided these sophisticated problems into a relatively simple 3 ways of the potential solutions: increasing the unit price, decreasing the unit cost, increasing the sales volume. Okay, and in each of the 3 potential solutions, we may divide it one level deeper. Okay, whether we can increase the price without adding new product features, or adding new product features, or by decreasing the fixed cost, or by decreasing the variable cost, or by expanding the entire market, or by increasing the market share of our product X. Okay, I showed this one in order for you to understand how to actually disaggregate the problems, and then how we can leverage and utilize the concept of the MECE and the logic trees. So in this example, we used logic tree and the concept of the MECE to disaggregate the complicated problems into the small issues. And once we disaggregated this problem into small issues, now it's time for us to prioritize which one do we have to analyze, or what are the issues we don't have to analyze, considering the time limit, considering the whether it takes more time, and considering it's relatively more important than the others. Okay, why do I have a highlight on the box of by increasing market share of product X? Okay, I think by expanding the entire market size is not the option we have to look at, because in the problem statement in the previous class, I provided information that the market is mature, and then the size of the market is not growing and it's actually declining. So in that situation, expanding the entire market size is not a feasible option. So we can simply get rid of this option, and we can focus on our analysis on the option of increasing market share of product X. And in the next slide, and in this slide, we can also draw another issue tree focusing on how do we increase market share of product X. So the final answer we would like to get is how do we improve operating profit of product X, right? And the realistic option might be by increasing market share of product X. Maybe the cost structure is quite tight, so we have already saved a lot of money to reduce the cost. So decreasing the cost, whether it's the fixed cost or the variable cost, it might not be the realistic option. So after drawing this issue tree, we may temporarily determined that, okay, increasing market share of the product X is quite ideal option. We have to explore, and then we may draw another version of issue tree. And at this stage,